Hello and welcome to Meet Your Inspiration podcast with Meri and Rich. Here we're talking about inspiration, motivation and empowerment. Our guests are ordinary people who became extraordinary, and we're sharing their stories who want to empower you to become the person you want to be and to go beyond your dreams.
This morning our special guest is Lucy. Lucy runs a marketing company which is called
Crescent Digital Marketing.
Thank you, Lucy.
Thank you for coming, and we are looking forward to hear more about your business. And obviously we're going to talk marketing today, but not only, because how did we met Lucy? Is it Rookie CEO? Should be?
I think it was Rookie, yeah.
Yes, Rookie CEO, a face that appear quite regular there,
Yes,
I would say.
Yeah.
And we knew already Tracy. And you two are always together.
Yes, we're two peas in a pod.
Like best
Actually,
friends.
We genuinely are. Like, we talk pretty much every day. We're really good friends.
And your friendship as well is really interesting. Started just again from
started through
kind
networking.
Of networking.
Yeah,
yes.
we met and we first had a proper chat. I think it might have been at Rookie. It's just we're really good friends now.
It's really, really cool how networking can do not only business relations, but friendships as well. So bumping quite a few times, talking, and today you are here.
To share the story.
Absolutely. I know that today we're going to talk as well about neurodiversity.
Yes.
And I'm really interested to know a bit more about that because I think it's getting quite, now I'm not sure the term is very right, popular, but maybe more and more people are talking.
It's the awareness. A lot of people
I'm not sure if they're aware what it is exactly. So it's quite good to talk about that. But before that, we're going to take you back in the time when you were finishing secondary school.
Gosh, okay.
What your dreams were and what you were hoping to do.
It couldn't be more different to what I'm doing now. Let's say that. So I finished secondary school. I was going to uni. That was always the plan. When I was doing my A-levels, I did classical civilization. I loved ancient history. And I toyed with doing that at uni, but decided I wanted to do something a bit different. And I'd always been interested in forensic psychology. So I went and did a degree studying criminology and psychology at Keele University. Which I loved. It was really good. It was very intense. Obviously, some of it's quite dark subject matter with the criminology in particular. And after I did my degree, it actually kind of put me off wanting to go into a career with that.
So you didn't want to go in the police? That wasn't on the thought
Well,
process?
that was my initial thought process. And I did have a couple of interviews with the police, but I didn't like the interviewers. And so that wasn't a very pleasant experience. And although I was offered the job, I said no, based on the interviewer, who was just awful. He was horrible. I did one of my dissertations for the criminology was on women who kill. So I studied in depth Myra Hindley and Rose West. And it was very, very dark and definitely kind of put me off wanting a career in it. Although I've still had that interest and I like watching Netflix documentaries and things like that. But quite happy to not work in that industry.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So where did that take you next?
That took me, so I graduated in 2007, right around the time of the recession, 2007, 2008. Really difficult to get a job. So I did quite a bit of temp work for a year, 18 months. And then in 2009, I started working at Hever Castle. And I was in their main office doing admin and things. That very quickly developed into me doing a bit of marketing, kind of accidentally, because social media was becoming quite prominent. And I was trying to persuade them that they should be on social media, and they weren't having any of it. And I kept pushing. And in the end, they said, fine, do it. Just go and do it. So I did. I set up their Facebook and Twitter pages.
And they're beautiful place there.
It is. It's lovely. And so, that was
it's a proper stereotypical castle, how you imagine it, isn't it?
It's beautiful, but it's it's got a really homely feel as well. Like when you're walking around, like I could live there quite happily.
I'm sure you had a lot of work in marketing, but without having the experience in that, how you find it, or it was just like a passion coming, something interesting?
Yeah, it was just because I was interested in it, and there's obviously so much content with somewhere like Hever Castle. There's so much imagery and visuals, and I was always going out on my lunch break taking photos to then share on their socials. And I loved it. So I did that without really realizing that was marketing, which I know sounds really stupid and contradictory, but because there was a marketing department and they were doing stuff, and this was kind of given to me as a bit of a side project. But yeah, I loved it. And then I was there for about 4 years, and from that I went to work at a private school, and I was they had a charity foundation on the side, so I worked for that doing events and marketing. I did that for 4 years again, I think.
How did you find the transformation going into doing event management as opposed to doing
on the side of working at Hever, the last year or so that I was there, I was doing a diploma in event management because I knew it was something I wanted to get into. So then when this events job came up, it kind of combined the two areas that I really loved. And so I was really to take that side of it further. And I really enjoyed doing the events. There was a lot of alumni events, some public events. When my maternity leave finished with my second child, I left the school and decided to start up my own events business. And that was weddings, parties, weddings, parties, and being on the day help for people running events.
So you had a little bit of experience already.
Yes, yeah, I did. And
you were brave enough to jump on. Did you know a lot about the market and how to find your clients? Or
yeah, I'd done quite a bit of research, spent time finding out like the best wedding shows to go to and things like that, where you either have a stand or meet people. And I formed a lot of connections that's when I started networking. Formed a lot of connections with other wedding suppliers, venues, became recommended supplier for a lot of venues. But one of the things I loved was when people were doing kind of DIY weddings and they'd hold it in their back garden, or more often not in their parents' back garden. And then I can just be there on the day just to make sure everything's like coordinated properly. And that's what I loved.
Sounds really cool. And
it was good.
Nice
it was busy. And
have you done it on your own? Like when you set up business, in your business, was it just you?
Me.
Just
you.
And how was to manage between the business and obviously because this will be quite intense, I assume, because we know when you need to be and to have 2 children. I assume quite young.
It was they were 4 and 1, so it was busy. It was a bit chaotic sometimes, but then I had that flexibility that if I knew the amount of work I could take on, so I wouldn't book in like 10 weddings in a month because that just would not be realistic at all. So I could kind of plan it around family life. So being my own boss, I needed that flexibility.
And how did you find being own boss and having your own business? Because this is as well from being employed to that jump. How did it work?
It was challenging, definitely. Obviously, when you're employed, you know when you're going to get paid, things like that. You get paid holiday, and when you're self-employed, you don't get any of that. There's no support if you're sick and you can't do something.
Everything stops.
Everything stops. Yeah. So it was definitely challenging, but I'm glad I did it.
Did you have any help or mentoring or anything?
No, didn't have any mentoring. I just kind of went out and did it. Fortunately, I've got an amazing bonus daughter, and she was a bit older than my children, so she was, I don't know, 20-ish. She would come out and help me sometimes if we were setting up for events. She was amazing, and I couldn't have done it without her. And obviously, if then my mum was having the kids or my husband was
you managed
parenting.
to
A lot of juggling. Juggling. Yes.
And because you're talking about that in the past, what's happened with the business?
Well, then several things kind of happened all at once. So whilst running that business, I became pregnant with my third child. It was a fairly horrific pregnancy. I ended up being admitted to hospital. It was then an awful birth, and he was challenging from day one.
Oh.
So all of that happened, and then we moved house twice in 3 months. First time he was 5 weeks old. And then everything settled for about 6 months, and COVID struck.
Wow, that's a lot of things all happening at the same time. I mean, moving house once is traumatic. Moving house twice.
Yes.
That's tough.
It wasn't the best best planning, but it happened and we got through it. Yeah. And when COVID struck, obviously everything stopped. And from people I know in the wedding industry, who a lot of their clients just postponed their wedding, all of my clients just cancelled. So that there was nothing to even hold on to. And I decided, with everything that was going on with my youngest son, it was just time to let it go. So I didn't feel too heartbroken when I decided to close the business. And then I was fully thrown into homeschooling 2 children and looking after a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
During COVID.
Oh, okay. Yeah, during COVID. Yeah. Okay.
And then in 2021, so it's a good 18 months or so after COVID had been at the forefront of everything. I was thinking about going back to work and what I could do if I did something myself. I toyed with setting up a social media business, but thought the market's saturated. I can't do that. I need something a bit more structured. So I got a job working for a charity doing their marketing, and it was brilliant. I loved the charity. I loved working there. And then my youngest son, he's neurodivergent and, as I said, very challenging. And in 2023, towards the end of the year, he needed more support. I needed more flexibility. So I left the charity, had a couple of months to think about what I was going to do, and then decided to go freelance again, because then, more than anything, I needed the flexibility to.
So did they become your first client, or
no?
Okay.
She was working for them, but after that,
no.
So what were the challenges with your child? Do you want to share that?
I've talked about it on my podcast. I'm sure people are sick of me talking about it. So from the moment he was born, he was just different to my older 2 children, and I could never explain it. I couldn't put him down. He would cry if I wasn't holding him, and if I was holding him, he had to be touching some part of my skin. He, to this day, he's only slept through the night 3 times, and he's 7 next week.
Wow!
So he's up every night. He will come and find one of us in the night. But when he was younger, he didn't hit any of his milestones on time. He wasn't speaking at all by the time he was 2. So then, going to visit her, they say, give it till he's 2.5 and then come back. 2.5 comes and goes and he's still not talking. We're sent to a speech and language therapist. And when I got the report back from her, even though I was there in the session and I heard what she said, when I got the report and saw it written down, suspected autism, I was like, okay. And fortunately in this time, I'd become friends with someone around the corner from me, and she's autistic. Her children are autistic. Her husband's autistic. She worked for 20 years with autistic families and children to support them. So she is like my font of all knowledge. And so I had a chat with her and I said, what do you think about Daniel? And she was like, yeah, you need to get him assessed to get him the right support. So he was 3 when he was diagnosed autistic, likely to have ADHD and PDA and a bunch of whole other
What's PDA?
acronyms. pathological demand avoidance, which is essentially if you tell them to do something, the pressure becomes so much they can't do it.
Okay.
So it's something like, go and brush your teeth. It's like, and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
So you have to read the thing, like, oh, should we see who's going to do their teeth first today? But you have to think about that every step.
How are you gonna? Okay.
Yeah. So he was at nursery. He was struggling quite a lot. One time he threw a chair across the room because he couldn't communicate.
Yeah.
He can talk now. I had a report yesterday from the school. They had an outside person come in and do a speech and language assessment on him. And it highlighted a lot where he's still struggling. He can't understand detailed instructions. It's to be very simple. Do this now, and then we're doing that. Or go to the toilet and wash your hands. And you can't then say, and then we'll go and do X, Y, Z. It has to be really
specific.
Simple. Yeah. But the school he's in mainstream school. He's in year 2. He's doing really well, and I can't fault the school. But I think it's going to come a time when he's going to have to be at a special school.
Does he integrate quite well with his? Does he have a few friends, and do they?
He does. Yeah, actually, his best friend. It's absolutely adorable. They're both autistic, and they're just so sweet together because one of the things they do is they will play alongside each other, but totally different things. Yeah. But they will have the best time in the world, and they just get on so well. So, yeah, he's made some friends. He struggles in class a fair amount, but he's got a special plan that if he's struggling, he can take himself off to the quiet corner and he can stay there and read a book or whatever. I know that's
usually kids and anyway people with autism. Usually they've got some really great skills. And have you found what is his?
That's such a misnomer. That's not true at all.
Wow.
Not true.
Absolutely, I know few.
Yeah, it's completely possible. Yeah.
I don't know if I said that before in the podcast, but when I was young, we had like family friends, and they were 3 boys. And the middle one, obviously in my eyes, with this I'm talking, I'm 8, 9. No one back in Bulgaria is talking about autism or whatever. We knew that something is different with him. Years later, I understand what it is. But obviously he was always with everybody and etc. I mean, never being excluded. He is one of the most talented piano. Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't believe how he write the music and how he didn't perform. And up to today now, he's a healthy older boy, over 30 years old, and he's doing brilliant. Yeah. Obviously, he's in community, we're surrounded with amazing people like that, but as well, somewhere else I met someone and they always had something that either it's going to be drawing, either it's going to be... Yeah. That's why I thought it's usually...
Yeah, there's often, from what I've seen and people I've spoken to, there's often a strong creativity, like something they can do that they're good in that way. But following my son's diagnosis, I then started questioning myself and I got diagnosed, so I'm autistic. Okay. But I don't have any special skills. I wish I did.
Maybe you do, but you don't realise. Right, because we like to say that. I don't. Yeah, but what makes you... Okay, you did... But autism as well. For me, autism was that... Obviously, there is a really big...
It's a spectrum. Yes. So a lot of people, even now, even though there's so much more awareness and knowledge about it, a lot of people think that like... not very autistic to very autistic, but it's not linear. It's more like a colour wheel. And it can change day to day. And how someone might seem really autistic, the next day they might not present in the same way. So I've got really strong sensitivity. I can't have labels in my clothes. I can't focus on anything if I can feel a label. And one day that might bother me more than others.
But did you notice that during the years that you were growing or whatever? But obviously you didn't know what it is. So maybe people around you didn't understand.
100%. So when I was a child, it was thought only boys could be autistic. It was never a thing in girls. Girls learn to mask really easily. So where they just pick up on what you should be doing and then present that as who they are. I was always labelled as a very sensitive child. I wouldn't talk to people. I was very quiet and much prefer to be a wallflower, not at centre of attention at all. And
so after you were obviously diagnosed with, is there anything changed, or did you get someone to talk about that? How you can, I don't know, accept what it is and to find the best way that you can.
Because they're always coping mechanisms, I guess.
Yes, definitely. I had actually had a therapist in the lead up to and just after getting my diagnosis. And that was one thing that we both came to the conclusion was that you should probably go for an assessment. And with ADHD, for example, you can be put on medication so it can relieve some of the symptoms and slow down your thinking, because a lot with ADHD is you're always on the go. But with autism, there's no medication. There's no immediate help as such. So it's kind of, for me, it changed everything and nothing, because getting the diagnosis meant I finally understood why I've always felt like an outsider. I've never really felt like I fit in anywhere, and why I struggle with social interactions quite a lot, and why if I've been out networking, for example, and in one morning, I can't do anything else for the rest of the day because it physically, emotionally, mentally just takes it out of me. So I really have to pace myself. And for years, I thought I was broken, that I was weak and pathetic, because every few months at work, I would need a day or two off sick to just not do anything.
Just as a reset almost.
Yeah, because I've been going for so long, putting this face on that I didn't even realise I was doing. So when I got the diagnosis and realised that is what's going on, this is the reason for why I feel like this, it changed how I felt about myself. I stopped being so hard on myself. But at the same time, nothing changed, because you can't start taking medication or flick a switch and suddenly you feel better, for want of a better word.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen.
When we talk ADHD, what is exactly that?
Is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Okay. And is it possible people to have one and not the other, or to have both, or how?
Yes. Well, again, I think it was only recently, I can't remember the year, but it was literally recently they only realised that you can have both. Having researched a lot of it and looked into it, I actually think I've got ADHD as well, but my autism is, I would be autism with ADHD as opposed to ADHD being the primary.
Escape to luxury at Hempstead House Hotel and Spa, an elegant country house hotel in Bapchild, near Sittingbourne, Kent. Relax with indulgent spa treatments. Dine in style with exquisite cuisine. Perfect for getaways, weddings and events. Experience luxury in the heart of Kent. Book your stay today.
Be the first to discover Kent's best events all in one free app. What's On in Kent is a new and rapidly growing app where you can find days out information, places to eat, festivals, concerts, markets, and much more around you. Just with few clicks on your phone or computer, you can stay updated with real-time info and explore events across Kent. Don't even think twice. Just download. It's free. And do you think that nowadays ADHD, it's obviously, I don't know what is the biological thing behind
it's a neurological
the science of that. But do you think that all this that we've got in the fast-paced social media and all these things is affecting people as well, or do you know something, because obviously you know much more information about that?
I think,
is that affecting?
In some ways, I think social media has been really good because it's raised a lot of awareness. People are talking about it more. And I know a lot of people say, oh, there was never this much autism in my day, or it's a trend now. And that's absolute rubbish. It's the same as, it's 100% awareness. It's the same as now cancer is diagnosed so much more because we know what we're looking for. Or after the telescope were invented, you suddenly saw more stars in the sky because you had the tools to see them. So it's been really good at raising awareness. I do wonder if, because there's lots of memes and short videos going out that, oh, I did this, therefore I must have ADHD or be autistic or whatever. And it's like, actually, you need to tick more boxes to actually be clinically diagnosed. And a lot of people are saying, oh, isn't everyone a bit autistic, or isn't everyone on the spectrum? It doesn't work like that, because if it did work like that, if that was the case, then neurodivergent people wouldn't struggle so much, because the world was built around neurotypical people. And neurodivergent people have learnt to kind of fit in with that as much as they can. And if everyone was on the spectrum, there wouldn't be any need for that.
No.
And this is something you are born with, or it can happen at any stage in your life?
It's a neurological difference. So I saw a comedian describe it, and I can't remember her name, but she said it's basically like iPhones and Androids, neurotypical, neurodivergent. They do the same thing, they just get there in a different way. So it's not someone's better or worse or good or bad, nothing like that. It's just a difference.
And is there something that we, as obviously, when you want to have kids or etc., is it something you can do for your body or whatever that can change that, or it's just
it's just it's a genetic thing?
It's just genetic.
Well, there's a very high genetic link, but they're still doing research on it all the time.
Okay, it's quite interesting.
So how does that affect now in the way you do things, particularly like in your work life? Does it?
Now, as I said, I'm much kinder to myself. I give myself breathing space. I go to the events, like particularly networking events. I go to the ones that I find help me. Like with Rookie CEO, they have the different speakers, and it's a learning experience as well as a bit of networking as well. So I find that sort of setup really works. Going to a room full of 100, 150 people, and you've got to try and
mingle
talk
with
to
everybody.
people. I can't go up to someone and just start a conversation. I really struggle with that. So those sorts of events, and the noise as well. I struggle if it's too loud and I can hear people behind me. So I just have to plan ahead, be really aware of what I'm doing, where I'm going. I also suffer with migraines quite a lot. So I have to, if I'm going somewhere and it's an outdoor event, I have to wear big like wraparound sunglasses, because if it's too bright, even if it's not sunny, when it's really bright and it's overcast, even that can trigger a migraine. So I've got to.
But you found your ways now.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, finding what works for me.
So let's talk a little bit about your business nowadays.
Yes.
How obviously you started because of the kids and around them. But how it's going, how you set up that, again, it's something new.
Yes, actually, when I was employed in my previous role, I was like, I'm never going to go self-employed again. It's too much work. It's too much stress. And now I've got to the point, I think I'm actually unemployable, because I would have so many demands from my employer that I couldn't work for anyone again. It's hard. It's really hard, and putting yourself out there. That was one thing, because I started the business before I got diagnosed. I went into it just, I need to put myself out there. I'll go to all the networkings. I'll force myself to do it, which wasn't the best method for my head, but it worked. I got the business out there. I met people. I got clients quite quickly, actually. So it took off really well. And then it was 4 months into it that I got my diagnosis. And even now, I think that was 2 years ago now, I'm still not coming to terms with it, but still processing it and realizing, oh, okay, that's why in that situation, why that happened the way it did, for example. But yeah, networking was the key thing for my business initially. And then, of course, as you said, I've met Tracy and I've met other people, and I formed genuine friendships, which helps, because it's really lonely in business on your own.
The thing is, from those relationships, the good thing is people then mention you, and then you get the introductions. And that is the most wonderful
But I like when people as well in the same industry, because the example that they're doing kind of similar thing. I know Tracy doing websites.
Tracy does websites. I do websites a bit. I'm moving away from that more now.
You do social media?
so I do the social media, but then I've met other people who also do social media.
And it's nice when you've got that environment as well. It's not only about competition, isn't it?
I don't like to look at it as competition, because everyone has their own approach, or will do it differently, or suit different businesses.
And like different personality.
That's it, 100%. I never look at it as competition. It's all potential collaboration. If I'm approached by someone and I'm like, I don't think we're a good fit, but so-and-so would be brilliant for you, like you would gel, and that could then flourish. So I'm much more about that.
Yeah, that makes such a big difference, doesn't it?
And I think the social media work, obviously, how you find that, because it's changing.
It's always
every
changing.
Evening, I think. It's every morning you wake up and it's are you like having different accounts that you look after in the social media world, doing videos for them? What is exactly?
So I do the social media management, and I primarily focus on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. I do a bit on TikTok, but that's more for myself, trialing things and seeing what works. So for my clients, I focus on those main three. And I don't work with a specific industry. My focus is more on the neurodivergent-led businesses. So that could be the business owners are neurodivergent, or they've got kids or family members or friends, and they get it. So we kind of, there's a synergy that we work well together. So it could be the business owners, could be their marketing lead that they need some assistance with. I'm now branching out into doing workshops to help people do their own social media, because a lot of the small businesses that I work with, it's just them. They can't necessarily afford to outsource. So if I can help them like structure their processes better, because one thing being neurodivergent is every day is different, and as much as you plan, like I'm going to post every Monday at 10 o'clock. If you're feeling particularly overwhelmed, or you forget, or something happens and that doesn't happen, that can throw your whole week out. So you need flexible structures that work with your mind, not against it. So as much as you can plan to do X, Y, and Z, have some flexibility. And when it doesn't go to plan, don't beat yourself up about it, and just...
Well, I think that's the case actually for quite a lot of times. I mean, it's really interesting, because like, obviously there's a lot of people who would always post, like, for example, if they're sending something out, it will always go exactly the same time every week, and everyone's like expecting it. And maybe if it's like, I don't know, watching a television program or like a podcast, maybe like the repeatability in the same time is quite good, but it's also nice sometimes to have, because that time doesn't always suit everybody. And it's not like everyone's going to sit down and watch something at a particular time. And with marketing, it's the same, isn't it?
Yeah, and it depends what the algorithm and the social media platform have decided is popular or working, or they decide to tweak it. You can plan and try and be as consistent as you can, and sometimes...
How are you finding you working? Because obviously I don't know if I got or not anything, but this world that is so changing and demanding sometimes, social media, how does this affect you in the work? Or you found now your ways, how much you, obviously you don't get far too, how is the word?
Concerned, I suppose.
Yes, you don't pay that much attention. You just know your, I wouldn't say limits, it's not the word limits. You just know until what step you let this to lead you. And you're like, you don't get that much overwhelmed by all the changes and what is happening.
No, I think you just kind of have to roll with it and kind of see what happens in the end. You can't plan it. You can't guarantee something's going to go viral, for example. You could post something in a certain way at a certain time and it does really well. You do the exact same thing a week later on the same day, the same time, and it won't reach anyone. So there can be a lot of pressure, or businesses want to be like, make this go viral, make this happen, this is going to be really big. You can't guarantee anything.
Nope.
And people that say in social media that say, we're going to get your followers up to 100,000
I don't trust that, no.
But
the
also,
only way is that you pay for them and we all receive these things, just pay this and you got that, but that's not the point. You don't need that.
And there's no point having 100,000 followers if no one's buying your services.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't go in for vanity metrics or anything like that, but you can, by being consistent and posting regularly, and if for you that's posting once a week, then that's fine. If you want to post 5 times a week, it's going to be a lot more work, but if you want to do that and you can manage that, then that's fine, and you will slowly build up your followers and people who you actually would want to work with as well. There's no point having loads of followers with no one engaging and people who aren't going to buy. It's meaningless.
Tell us a little bit about the podcast, because you have a podcast.
I have a podcast too, yes.
How you decide to start, what are you talking about? And
Okay, so when I started my business, that first year, I never would have thought about doing a podcast. Never would have, wouldn't even have crossed my mind to start my own. And right at the end of 2024, I was a guest on someone's podcast and I was dreading it. And actually, when it came out, I was like, this is all right. Actually, it was fine. And I kind of was like, oh, maybe I could do that. That could be quite interesting, because I've always been a champion of small businesses, particularly local businesses. I like to go and see people in their natural environment where they work. So I was like, maybe if I did something and make it quite Kent-based, supporting local businesses, get people on, talk about my experiences. So it's kind of a bit of a mixed bag of talking about running a business, marketing, parenting and neurodivergence. So it kind of, sometimes I cover all subjects in an episode and sometimes it's just one. So it's a bit varied. But I launched it on my business's first birthday because I decided I had more than enough time to launch a podcast. It's a lot of work, but I love it. I think my 29th episode went out yesterday. I've had some fantastic guests on, and it's all people I love and that I'd want to work with. So it's really, some of them have been clients actually. So that's really nice. And yeah, it goes out once, it's every other week roughly. And yeah, it's just nice to give other businesses a platform.
Which socials is going?
It goes on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts.
Okay. Brilliant.
So, yeah.
Nice. It's nice to have a podcast.
It is. It's so nice, and it's just it's like this. I do all mine. It's all online, but it's nice to just have a chat and find out about people.
How you find your guests? I assume you're reaching to them, or how?
It's been a bit of a mix. It's mainly been through networking, talking to people, and finding a bit about their story. And I was like, oh, I'd love to talk about this further. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
very similar.
Kind of like what you did to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Very similar. This is how we are a bit, picky, but yeah, you have to choose, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to choose. So it's and it's quite nice, and it's taking you to very different places. You learn about the people, but most of it, and the good is that we, when I say we, you, us, and many more, we're sharing the real experiences of people and what is happening, because it's movies and some stuff on the TV is good, but not always is how it works.
Yes.
And it's nice to have something really interesting that's different from normal.
Definitely.
Because everyone loves to hear about, what do you do? What's going on in the background?
Yeah, definitely. And
it makes it interesting.
You can never tell someone's story from meeting them just once or what's going on. So yeah, no, I really enjoy it. And I got, I think it's been 6 months now, I've had a sponsor for the podcast. So
brilliant.
Little shout out to Purple Frog Signs in Gillingham.
Yes. Big shout out to people who support and sponsor. Yes.
Yeah, so that's really nice. And she, Louise, who runs that business with our husband, she messaged me, we'd connected on LinkedIn, but she messaged me after a few episodes of my podcast had gone out. And she was like, I love this is really great. And so she listened to my podcast while she's doing her work and stuff. And then she signed it off, your number one fan. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Wow. So when I was thinking about getting a sponsor, she was the first person I went to. And she fortunately said yes, which is really nice.
Brilliant.
And what's the podcast called?
Crescent Podcast. Very ingeniously named, but nice and simple.
It definitely
it
makes the... how are you balancing your work and family time, being a mom? Because I think this is as well.
It's a juggle. Fortunately, my husband works from home 3 days a week, which takes the stress off. So I don't have to always be up every morning doing like the score and whatever. If I've got an early meeting or something, I can go and do that. And the same in the evening. I don't always have to be back for school pickup. I do find it a struggle sometimes because obviously a lot of my work primarily is social media. So if I'm on my phone in the evening and I'm scrolling about, I'll just quickly have a look at that, or I'll see what the insights or stats were for that, or I'll just quickly post this, and I have to really stop myself from doing that.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that and to get that distraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it comes into the mind and they think, I'll do it while it's in my mind.
Exactly. But then I'm trying not to be on my phone so much in front of my kids, because they're nearly 7, nearly 10 and 12. So
it's quite difficult to explain them that you're not there to play, you're there to do work.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we're giving the example. So
it's a bit
hard. How you're recharging yourself out of the screen, obviously? Are you reading, walking, running? I don't know.
I read and I walk a lot, yes. I've also got 2 dogs because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I go out and I walk the dogs. I've always listened to a podcast, though, when I'm out walking the dogs. And, I read a lot as well. A lot of fantasy books. So it's completely... I don't like
something that is
for you. I like something
yourself.
Completely not in reality, so that it's a nice break.
So if someone is listening to us who is neurodivergent at the moment and all think that something is, maybe I've got this and that, what are the steps they need to follow? First of all, if they want to check,
if they're really genuinely questioning it, then there are quizzes and things online you can do. And from that, if you're really, really convinced that you want to take it further, you can go and see your GP, you can do the right to choose. So you can, I was going to say, kind of fast track the system. They
can guide you what the GP is.
Yeah, they can, but there is a long waiting list. I don't know what the time is for the moment. I heard someone say 7 years, I heard someone say 4 years.
Well,
it can be a really long time.
Wow.
I actually went privately to get my own assessment, and that I think was about a 2-month wait. So, but obviously you've got to have funds to pay for that. And I was losing my mind at going back and forth. Do I need a diagnosis? Would it make any difference? And I needed the clarity. I just needed to know, because if that wasn't what was going on, then what's
happening? Yeah.
In at the time I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Not that there's anything wrong, but that's where I was in my mind. So either do GP, right to choose, or if you're able to, look at going private. There's loads of diagnosing companies. I don't know what the phrase is.
And in the meantime, if they want or thinking about doing a business on their own, they can listen to your podcast.
Definitely.
Or get tips and ideas.
Or get in touch and have a chat with me. I'm happy to have a coffee with anyone. I know, I've been there. I know what it's like. I've seen it with my children. My daughter, my middle child, she's now waiting to be assessed because we think she's a whole mix going on with her. Definitely autistic and very likely ADHD. My eldest son 100% has ADHD, but he won't talk about it. I think he's seen the challenges with my younger son and sees it in a very negative light. So he doesn't want to be associated with it. But he's, fortunately for him, he's incredibly academic. He loves maths. I don't know where that comes from, but he's doing very, very well at school. So,
it's...
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you, Lucy. That's really interesting and amazing.
It was very interesting. And once again, another great example of, I love seeing these examples. This business, that business, difficult, but you are there, you're doing it. And wishing you all the success.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. I've loved it.
See you soon, for sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Lucy.
Before we go, I keep forgetting. We've got a very special book here.
You have probably met this gentleman.
Gifted by
Yes, I saw him
Dr.
last
Rand.
week.
Amazing.
Oh my God, is that for me?
Yes.
It is for you, and the book is awesome. And a small tropic gift from me to you.
Thank you so much. I didn't know I was getting gifts.
Yeah, you will get a gift.
Thank you so much.
So
I was going to buy this actually. So
there you go.
Here it is. He was thinking, obviously, that. But it's really, really good book. We hope you enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll share all Lucy's details below so you can have a look at that. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you're watching on YouTube, please do subscribe and do give us a like and follow us on all the other channels. And
of course, if you want to help and support our project to be able to bring more and more amazing guests and have a great content, please follow the link below and buy us a drink. See you next time.
Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.